The explosion lit up the void like a newborn star, casting harsh shadows across the bridge of the ISS Hawking. Commander Diana Reeves gripped her captain's chair, dark eyes fixed on the spreading debris field that sparkled against the backdrop of space. What had initially seemed like a routine patrol through the Carina sector had just become anything but ordinary. Analysis, Lieutenant Park. Diana's voice remained steady, masking her growing concern. The young sensor officer's fingers danced across his holographic interface, streams of data reflecting off his concentrated face. The explosion pattern is unusual, Commander. Energy signature doesn't match any known human or allied species vessels. And there's something else. Park's voice dropped slightly. The debris field contains traces of materials we've never encountered before. Diana stood, her tall frame casting a shadow across the bridge's central display. The crew of 15 had served together for 3 years, but she'd never seen them this tense. Something about this situation felt wrong on a fundamental level. Raj, take us in closer, but maintain safe distance. Ava, full defensive screens up. She watched as her helmsman and defensive officer complied without question. The Hawking's engines hummed to life, the massive research vessel gliding forward with surprising grace for its size. As they approached, the debris field began to tell its story. Twisted metal, if you could call it metal, showed signs of advanced technology far beyond current human capabilities. Some pieces seemed to phase in and out of normal space, defying the laws of physics as humanity understood them. Commander, called out Dr. Nikolai Volkov from his science station. I'm detecting residual quantum signatures consistent with theoretical faster-than-light technology. But the pattern, it suggests whoever built this ship was using space-time itself as a weapon. Diana felt a chill run down her spine. Humanity had encountered several alien species since achieving interstellar flight 30 years ago, but none had demonstrated this level of technological advancement. Are we recording everything? Yes, Mom. All sensors at maximum capacity, Park confirmed. The bridge crew worked in focused silence for several minutes, documenting and analyzing every aspect of the mysterious wreckage. Diana was about to order a sample collection when Officer Ava Chen's voice cut through the quiet. Multiple contacts. Coming in fast from Sector 7. Diana spun toward the tactical display. 3 ships had appeared seemingly from nowhere, their designs unlike anything in their database. They moved with impossible speed and precision, their hulls seeming to bend light around them. Defensive positions. Raj, plot us an escape vector. Park, get me everything you can on those ships. Diana's orders came rapid fire as she returned to her chair, securing herself for potential evasive maneuvers. The unknown vessels surrounded them in a triangle formation, but made no obvious aggressive moves. Their designs were organic, almost crystalline, with surfaces that seemed to ripple like water despite the vacuum of space. They're scanning us, Volkov reported, his usual calm voice tinged with excitement. The energy patterns, they're similar to the debris field, but far more refined. Commander, I believe these ships represent the same civilization, but perhaps a more advanced version. Are they trying to communicate? Diana asked, not taking her eyes off the tactical display. No standard hailing frequencies, Communications Officer Jenna Martinez reported. But there's... Wait. Something's coming through on a quantum band. It's like they're talking directly to our computer systems. The bridge's main screen flickered to life without anyone's input. Geometric patterns danced across it, slowly resolving into recognizable symbols. The universal translator began processing immediately, but before it could complete its analysis, the symbols shifted again. They're learning our language in real time, Volkov whispered, incredulous. They're analyzing our entire database and adapting their communication protocols accordingly. Words finally appeared on the screen. CEACINVEStigation. Danger, XT indies beyond your UND. Diana leaned forward in her chair. Martinez, Can we respond on the same frequency? Working on it, Commander. But these quantum bands are like nothing we've ever. Wait, they're transmitting again. Others, FOLO. Darkness comes. Pour a pair. The message flashed for barely a second before disappearing. The three ships began to move in perfect synchronization, their hulls brightening with an inner light. Energy spike. Ava shouted. They're charging something. Diana's order to raise shields died in her throat as the three vessels released a pulse of energy that passed harmlessly through their ship. When it cleared, the mysterious craft had vanished, leaving behind only fading quantum echoes. Damage report, Diana demanded, already knowing the answer. None, Commander, Ava responded, sounding puzzled. But they left something in our computer system. It's encrypted, but it's massive. Terabytes of data. Diana stood again, surveying her shaken but professional crew. Whatever we just encountered, I have a feeling it was just the beginning. Martinez, get me a secure channel to Fleet Command. Volkov, start working on that encryption. Park, I want continuous scans for any signs of those ships returning. She paused, looking out at the still glittering debris field. Something tells me we're about to find ourselves in the middle of something much bigger than a simple explosion. The crew acknowledged their orders, the bridge humming with renewed purpose. As Diana began composing her report to Fleet Command, she couldn't shake the feeling that humanity had just stumbled into a conflict that had been raging in the shadows of space for far longer than their species had been among the stars. The debris continued to spin silently in the void, its secrets still largely intact, while somewhere in the vast darkness, ancient forces stirred, and the countdown to confrontation had begun. The encrypted data haunted the ISS Hawking's computers like a digital ghost. After 3 days of continuous attempts, Dr. Volkov's team had managed to decrypt only fragments, but what they found sent tremors of concern through Fleet Command. These star charts, Volkov explained to Commander Reeves in the ship's dimly lit data center, they show patterns of stellar instability across multiple sectors. But look here. He gestured to a holographic display where dozens of stars pulsed with an ominous red glow. These instabilities aren't natural. Diana studied the display, her reflection ghostly in the holographic light. Someone's weaponizing the stars themselves. Worse, Volkov manipulated the display, expanding it to show energy flow patterns. They're using them as power sources. The process is inherently unstable. If our calculations are correct, we're looking at potential chain reactions that could devastate entire regions of space. Before Diana could respond, Lieutenant Park's voice came through the intercom. Commander to the bridge, immediate priority. Diana found her bridge crew staring at their long-range sensors. A massive energy surge had been detected at the edges of charted space, precisely where one of the marked stars should be. Report, she ordered, sliding into her command chair. Star HD 200 and 49,871 just went into premature collapse, Park announced, his voice tight. But the collapse pattern, it's being contained somehow, channeled. The main screen showed the distant star writhing like a living thing, its outer layers being pulled away in spiral patterns that defied natural stellar physics. In the midst of the chaos, dark shapes moved with purpose. Multiple ships detected, Ava reported. Similar design to our previous encounter, but larger. Much larger. Diana watched as the vessels, each nearly the size of a small moon, harvested energy directly from the dying star. Are they the same species that warned us? Negative. Martinez called from communications. Different quantum signatures entirely. These are cruder somehow, more brutal. The Nexari, a new voice announced from the bridge entrance. Everyone turned to see a tall, silvery figure step onto the bridge. The alien's form seemed to flow like mercury, its features abstract yet somehow conveying deep concern. Ambassador Lyra. Diana acknowledged the representative from the Stellar Concordat who had been assigned to the Hawking after their initial encounter. You know these beings. We know of them. Lyra's voice resonated with harmonics that the universal translator struggled to fully capture. They are parasites, star-eaters. They have destroyed countless civilizations by destabilizing their local star systems. The ships we encountered before, Diana pressed. They were fighting these Nexeri. The Guardians, Lyra confirmed. Ancient, powerful, but even they cannot be everywhere at once. The Nexeri spread like a plague. The bridge fell silent as they watched the distant star's death throes. Suddenly, multiple alarms blared. Energy spike. Park shouted. They've detected us. Evasive action, Diana ordered, but before Raj could respond, space itself seemed to twist around them. 3 Nexeri vessels, smaller than the Harvesters but still dwarfing the Hawking, emerged from what appeared to be tears in reality. Their ships were dark, angular nightmares that seemed to absorb both light and hope. Shields at maximum, Diana commanded. Raj, get us out of here. The Hawking's engines screamed as they pushed to escape, but the Nexeri ships moved with impossible speed, cutting off their retreat vectors one by one. They're charging weapons, Ava reported, her hands flying over her console. Lyra stepped forward, their silvery form rippling with agitation. Your shields cannot withstand their weapons. They are powered by stolen stellar energy. Just as the first Nexeri vessel prepared to fire, space warped again. This time, it was the crystalline ships of the Guardians that emerged, immediately engaging the Nexeri vessels with weapons that seemed to bend reality itself. The Guardians bought us an opening, Raj announced. We can make it to the nearest jump point. Lead Command transformed the Hawking's dire warning into immediate action. Within days, humanity's most advanced research vessel had become the center of an unprecedented joint operation between Earth's forces and the stellar Concordat. Commander Diana Reeves stood in the Hawking's newly expanded research bay, watching teams of human scientists work alongside beings of various species. The room hummed with activity and alien technologies that would have seemed impossible mere weeks ago. The Nexeri's power consumption is their weakness, Dr. Volkov explained, gesturing to a holographic simulation where a star's energy was being siphoned away. They require enormous amounts of power to maintain their reality-warping technology. Ambassador Lyra's silvery form flowed closer to the display. Correct. But attempting to deny them this power has proven catastrophic. Images appeared showing entire solar systems reduced to cosmic debris. When threatened, they trigger premature stellar collapse rather than lose access to their energy source. Then we don't deny them the energy. A new voice interrupted. Dr. Isabella Torres, Earth's leading expert in quantum mechanics, stepped forward. Her arrival 3 days ago had marked a turning point in their research. We poison it. Diana turned to the scientist. Explain. Torres manipulated the holographic display, zooming in to the quantum level. The Nexeri's stellar harvesting technology relies on perfectly stable quantum streams. We've been studying the encrypted data from the Guardians, and we think we found a way to introduce cascade instabilities into the energy flow. You want to give them indigestion, Diana said, a slight smile playing at her lips. More like quantum food poisoning, Torres confirmed. But to implement this, we'd need to get close to their harvesting operations, dangerously close. Before anyone could respond, the ship's alert system blared to life. Commander to the bridge, Priority 1. Lieutenant Park's voice carried barely controlled panic. Diana rushed to the bridge, the others closed behind. The main screen showed a terrifying sight. 3 stars in neighboring systems had begun showing signs of artificial destabilization. They're accelerating their timeline, Lyra observed, their normally flowing form becoming jagged with concern. The Nexeri must know we've discovered a potential weakness. How long until total collapse? Diana demanded. Hours at most, Park reported. They're using new technology we haven't seen before. The energy extraction rate is off the charts. Diana turned to Torres. How close to ready is your solution? We have the theory and basic implementation. But we haven't tested. No time for testing. Diana cut her off. Get what you need. We're going in. She turned to her crew. Battle stations, all non-essential personnel to secure positions. As klaxons sounded throughout the ship, Diana felt the weight of command settle heavily on her shoulders. Raj, plot a course to the nearest targeted star. Ava, I want every scrap of power we can spare diverted to shields and our new quantum defense grid. The Hawking's engines roared to life, pushing the massive ship toward what could very well be its final mission. Diana watched as her crew worked with practiced efficiency, their faces showing determination rather than fear. Multiple Nexari vessels detected at the target site, Park announced as they approached. 5 harvesters and something else. Something massive. The main screen showed their objective. A dying star surrounded by the now familiar dark shapes of Nexari ships. But beyond them loomed something that defied description. A construct that seemed to bend space around itself, its surface a void that hurt the eyes to look at. That's their weapon, Lyra said softly. The Star Killer. We've never seen one so close to completion. Torres rushed onto the bridge, her tablet displaying streams of calculations. Commander, if that thing is what I think it is, we need to act now. The quantum instabilities it's generating could tear apart the fabric of space-time itself. Options, Diana asked, her eyes fixed on the monstrosity ahead. We modify our plan, Torres replied. Instead of poisoning their energy stream, we use their own quantum network against them. One massive feedback pulse through their collection system. The backlash would destroy them. Diana asked. It would destroy everything in the vicinity, Torres admitted, including us. Silence fell over the bridge. Diana looked at her crew, seeing the same resolution in their eyes that she felt in her heart. They had sworn to protect Earth and its allies, no matter the cost. Ambassador Lyra, Diana turned to the alien diplomat. Can your ship get clear in time? We will not abandon you. Lyra's form pulsed with conviction. The Concordat stands with humanity. Diana nodded, feeling a fierce pride in this alliance forged in crisis. Then let's make it count. Dr. Torres, begin your calculations. Raj, take us in. Ava, ready all weapons. We're going to give the Nexari something they've never seen before. Humanity at its finest. The Hawking surged forward, its enhanced shields glowing as they approached the massive energy streams being pulled from the dying star. Behind them, Concordat ships moved into support positions, their advanced technology complementing the human vessel's desperate charge. As they closed with their target, Diana thought of Earth, of all the worlds now depending on their success. The Nexari had existed for millennia, destroying civilizations and consuming stars, but they had never faced the combined might of humanity and its allies, never encountered the particular blend of desperation, innovation, and sheer determination that Earth's children could bring to bear. Weapons range in 30 seconds, Ava reported. Diana straightened in her command chair. All hands, prepare for combat maneuvers. Today we make our stand, not just for humanity, but for every species that has ever looked up at the stars with hope instead of fear. The bridge crew tensed as the distance closed. Ahead, the Nexari vessels began to turn, finally recognizing the threat that dared to challenge them. The final battle for the galaxy's future was about to begin. Space itself seemed to shudder as the Hawking drove deeper into the maelstrom of quantum energies surrounding the dying star. The Nexari vessels moved to intercept, their dark hulls radiating waves of distorted reality. Energy spike. Park's warning came just as the first attack hit. The Hawking's enhanced shields flared brilliant blue, barely deflecting a beam that could have sheared the ship in half. Shields at 70%, Ava reported, her fingers dancing across her console. The Concordat ships are engaging the outer defense ring. Diana watched as their allies' ships, graceful and deadly, weaved through the Nexari formation with impossible precision. Dr. Torres, status on the quantum pulse. Nearly there, Torres called from her makeshift station. But we need to get closer to the primary collection node. Much closer. Raj's hands flew over the helm controls as another attack barely missed them. Commander, their fire pattern is changing. They're not trying to destroy us. Diana's eyes narrowed. They're hurting us. Lieutenant Park, scan for spatial anomaly forming. Park shouted. They're trying to trap us in a quantum net. The space around the Hawking began to crystallize, reality itself freezing into patterns that would trap them forever. But before the net could close, a blast of pure energy shattered the forming prison. 3 Guardian vessels phased into existence around them, their crystalline hulls pulsing with power. Commander Reeves, a familiar voice resonated through their communications. Your strategy is bold. We will assist. Guardian vessels are creating a corridor, Ava reported, excitement creeping into her professional tone. Nexari ships are being forced to retreat from their primary collection points. Diana leaned forward. Raj, take us in. Dr. Torres, this is your window. The Hawking surged forward, protected on 3 sides by Guardian ships. The massive Nexari construct loomed before them, its surface still defying proper perception. Reading massive power fluctuations, Park announced. The Star Killer is becoming active. They're accelerating their timeline. Lyra's form rippled with alarm. If that weapon fully activates. It won't, Diana cut in. Dr. Torres, ready? Torres confirmed. But Commander, the power requirements for the pulse. We'll have to divert everything, including life support. Diana nodded grimly. How long from pulse initiation to impact? 45 seconds. That's cutting it close, Raj muttered. Time enough. Diana stood from her chair. All hands. This is the commander. Secure all stations and prepare for total power diversion. Emergency oxygen protocols in effect. As her crew rushed to comply, Diana turned to Torres. Start your countdown. Doctor. Raj, plot us an escape vector now. We'll be flying blind once the pulse launches. The bridge lights dimmed as power began diverting to Torres' quantum pulse device. Through the view screen, Diana watched the battle rage around them. Guardian and Concordat ships danced through space, holding back the Nexari fleet with everything they had. Pulse charging, Torres called out. 30 seconds to initiation. The temperature on the bridge began to drop as life support failed. Bridge crew members pulled on emergency oxygen masks, their breath fogging in the increasingly cold air. 20 seconds. The Star Killer's surface began to shift, patterns of void stretching toward them like grasping fingers. They've detected the power buildup, Park warned. Multiple vessels on intercept course. 10 seconds. Diana grabbed her chair as the ship shuddered under a direct hit. Shields failing. 5, 4, 3. The void reached for them, reality warping around the Hawking's hull. 2, 1. Initiating. The pulse launched, invisible but felt by every person on the bridge as reality itself seemed to hiccup. It struck the quantum energy stream connecting the Nexari construct to the dying star. And for a moment, nothing happened. Then the stream began to pulse, vibrations racing back toward the Star Killer. The construct's surface rippled, its void-like appearance disturbed by waves of quantum feedback. Full power to engines, Diana ordered. Get us out of here. The Hawking's engines screamed as Raj pushed them to their limit. Behind them, the quantum feedback reached the Star Killer's core. Space itself seemed to scream as the construct began to implode, dragging nearby Nexari ships into its collapse. Guardian vessels are covering our retreat, Ava reported as power began returning to ship systems. The quantum cascade is spreading through the Nexari fleet. Diana watched as ship after ship was consumed by the reality-warping destruction they had unleashed. The dying star stabilized, the energy siphons destroyed by the same feedback that was destroying their creators. As they reached safe distance, Diana allowed herself to breathe. Damage report. Hull breaches on decks 4 through 6, contained by emergency fields, Ava responded. Minor casualties, no fatalities. We're battered, Commander, but we're alive. The Star Killer? Diana asked. Completely destroyed, Park confirmed. The quantum cascade caused a chain reaction through their entire network. We're tracking similar destructions across all nearby Nexari operations. Commander, Martinez called from communications. The Guardians are hailing us. Diana straightened her uniform. On screen, the image that appeared was unlike anything they'd seen before. A being of pure energy and thought, finally showing its true form. Humanity has proven itself beyond our expectations. The Guardians' thoughts resonated directly in their minds. You have done what we could not. Found a way to defeat the Nexari without destroying that which we all seek to protect. What happens now? Diana asked. Now, the Guardian's form shifted. We rebuild. Together. Your species has earned its place among the Guardians of Light. Diana looked at her crew, human, alien, and everything in between. All working together to save not just their own worlds, but all worlds. We would be honored, she replied. As the Hawking limped home, Diana knew this wasn't really an ending. It was a beginning. Humanity had faced its trial by fire and emerged stronger, wiser, and ready to take its place among the stars. Would you like me to continue with the final part, which will wrap up our story and explore the immediate aftermath of this victory? The observation deck of Earth Station Alpha offered a panoramic view of humanity's homeworld, but Commander Diana Reeves found her gaze drawn to the stars beyond. 3 months had passed since the battle that changed everything, and the galaxy was still adjusting to its new reality, still finding it hard to believe. Dr. Torres joined her at the window, her reflection ghostly against the reinforced transparent steel. That we survived, or that we're now part of an intergalactic defense force. Diana smiled slightly. Both, I suppose. Torres gestured to a point of light that moved differently from the stars. The Guardian construction ships are almost finished with the quantum defense grid. Earth will never be defenseless again. Diana turned from the window. And the remaining Nexari? Scattered, broken. Lyra's form rippled with satisfaction. Without their star-killer technology and quantum networks, they pose no major threat. The few survivors have retreated to the galactic rim. But they're not extinct, Diana noted. It wasn't a question. No, Lyra confirmed. The Guardians believe. And we agree, that extinction is not the answer. Even the Nexari deserve a chance to evolve, to change. Speaking of evolution, Torres interjected, bringing up a holographic display. You need to see this, Commander. The display showed data from the Hawking's final scan of the quantum cascade effect. We've been analyzing the feedback pulse's impact on local spacetime. It didn't just destroy the Nexari technology, it fundamentally altered it. The surviving Nexari ships show signs of transformation. What kind of transformation? Diana asked, studying the complex quantum readings. Their quantum signatures are shifting toward a pattern similar to the Guardians. Torres explained. It's as if our desperate attempt to stop them accidentally showed them a different path, a way to harvest stellar energy without destruction. Life finds a way, Diana mused, even at the quantum level. Their discussion was interrupted by a priority alert. Lieutenant Park's voice came through the station's comm system. Commander, we're detecting a Guardian manifestation in orbit. They're requesting your presence. Minutes later, Diana stood in the station's primary conference room with Earth's highest-ranking officials as the Guardian's energy form materialized. Unlike their previous encounters, this manifestation felt warmer, more accessible. We come with an offer. The Guardians' thoughts resonated gently in their minds. Your victory over the Nexari proved that humanity possesses something unique, the ability to find hope in darkness, to create solutions where none seemed possible. The Guardian's form expanded, filling the room with shifting patterns of light. We propose to establish an academy here, on Earth, a place where species from across the galaxy can learn from humanity's example, while humanity learns from theirs. Diana felt the weight of the moment. You want us to teach. We want you to show the galaxy what we have finally learned, that the strongest defense against darkness is not superior firepower or advanced technology, but the ability to imagine a better way, to find paths that others cannot see. The Guardian shifted, its light forming images of stars, ships, and beings from across the cosmos. The age of isolation is ending. The barriers between species, between ways of thinking, are falling. Humanity's greatest gift to the galaxy may not be the defeat of the Nexari, but the proof that evolution, growth, and change are always possible. Diana looked at Torres, at Lyra, at all the beings who had fought alongside her. In their faces, human and alien alike, she saw the same understanding, the same hope. "When do we begin?" she asked. The Guardian's response carried a sensation that felt remarkably like a smile. "You already have." Outside the station's windows, Earth turned serenely below, its quantum defense grid gleaming like a web of stars. Construction ships, human, Guardian, and Concordat, worked together, building not just defenses, but bridges between civilizations. In the distance, the first transports carrying students from 100 worlds approached, drawn by the promise of something new. Diana thought of the Hawking, now being refitted with technology that merged human ingenuity with Guardian wisdom. They had set out to save the galaxy and had ended up changing it instead, not through overwhelming force or superior firepower, but through the uniquely human ability to face the impossible and imagine a way forward. The stars beckoned, not with danger now, but with promise. Humanity had found its place in the cosmos, not as conquerors or victims, but as teachers, learners, and guardians of a legacy greater than any single species. The dawn of a new age had arrived, and its light would shine for millennia to come.